What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Fantasy Tomorrow. And as we're getting closer and closer to the end of the season, more and more injuries are racking up, and it can be difficult to keep track of all of these for our fantasy team. So let's go ahead and jump into all of the injuries that we need to keep track of for Week 14. Starting off, let's talk about some long-term injuries that we got news about this week. First off, Tyrod Taylor, quarterback for the Texans, has a wrist injury that he suffered in Week 13. He's considered week to week. Davis Mills has already been kind of confirmed to start in Week 14, so Taylor's going to miss at least 1 week. But really, you just need to stay away from this offense. It's not looking good for the Texans. Kenyan Drake, running back for the Raiders, suffered a broken ankle and is out for the season. Bad news for Drake. Peyton Barber and Jalen Richard should see more work as the Raiders' second running back behind Josh Jacobs, but I wouldn't really trust either one of them in my lineup. Adam Thielen, wide receiver for the Vikings, suffered an ankle injury. We think it might be a high ankle sprain, which means he would likely miss a couple of weeks. KJ Osborne and Tyler Conklin will likely see more work in the passing game because of Thielen's absence. Corey Davis, wide receiver for the Jets, suffered a groin injury. In fact, he's actually having core muscle surgery and is going to be out for the season because of that. Logan Thomas, tight end for the Washington football team, suffered a knee injury. They don't think it's a torn ACL, which is good news, but he still will likely miss at least a week or two. And finally, Antonio Brown, wide receiver for the Buccaneers, has an ankle injury that he's dealt with for weeks, but he was actually suspended this past week for misleading the NFL about his vaccination status, so he's going to end up being out until at least Week 16. Now, let's move on to some more minor injuries to watch. First off, Aaron Rodgers, quarterback for the Packers, has that toe injury that's plagued him for a few weeks. Now, the Packers are coming off of their bye, and we think that Rodgers is going to be able to play through this injury as he already has this year. Joe Burrow, quarterback for the Bengals, has a finger injury. In fact, it's actually a dislocated pinky. Looks pretty awful, but reports are that he is going to try to play through it. Taysom Hill, quarterback for the Saints, also has a finger injury, and he's going to try to play through it as well. Justin Fields, quarterback for the Bears, has a rib injury. Now, he's missed the last couple of weeks, so he'll be worth watching to see whether he can get back in the lineup or not. Daniel Jones, quarterback for the Giants, has a neck injury that caused him to miss Week 13. He'll definitely be worth watching as well. Moving on to some running backs, Dalvin Cook of the Vikings has a shoulder injury that caused him to miss Week 13. He could actually be a long shot to play this week, so don't put too much trust in Cook. Alvin Kamara of the Saints has a knee injury that's caused him to miss the past few weeks. But he has had some extra time to get healthy with him having a Thursday night game last week, but we'll definitely want to keep an eye on him. Joe Mixon of the Bengals has a neck injury that is definitely going to be worth watching this week. Elijah Mitchell of the 49ers has a concussion that we'll definitely want to keep an eye on to see whether he can clear protocol in time for Week 14. Deandre Swift, running back for the Detroit Lions, has a shoulder injury that caused him to miss Week 13. He'll definitely need to make some progress in order to play this week. Chase Edmonds of the Cardinals has an ankle injury, and he could actually return off of IR this week. In fact, the Cardinals are kind of optimistic that he'll be able to do so. Kareem Hunt of the Browns has a calf injury. He's coming off of his bye week. He was a little banged up in Week 12. We'll definitely want to watch him and see if that's very serious. And then finally for running backs, Melvin Gordon of the Broncos has a hip/shoulder injury that caused him to miss Week 13. We'll definitely want to watch and see whether he can return to action. Now, moving on to some wide receivers, Debo Samuel of the 49ers has a groin injury that caused him to miss Week 13, but he could come back this week. T. Higgins, wide receiver for the Bengals, has an ankle injury. In fact, he just kind of tweaked it this past Sunday, and it could end up being a minor injury. Kenny Golladay of the Giants has a rib injury, but he was able to return to the game after going out for a few plays. He should be okay. Julio Jones of the Titans has a hamstring injury, and he's actually designated to return off of IR. So we'll definitely want to watch his progress, see if he can practice and return to action. Allen Robinson of the Bears has a hamstring injury. He'll definitely need to make some progress in order to play after missing a few weeks. And then moving on to tight ends, there's only one tight end here. Darren Waller of the Raiders has a knee injury that caused him to miss Week 13. He'll definitely need to make some progress this week in order to play on Sunday. But guys, like I said at the beginning of this video, it's a lot of players. So here is a recap and a list that you can download or print out so that you can keep track of all of these injuries as you set your lineups and make waiver claims this week. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, drop us a like and a comment, and check out our Twitter and our Facebook and interact with us over there. And also check out our other channel, Pretty Smart Sports, where we're talking about all sorts of different sports stuff. But again, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.